that would all have a swell time in this webinar. During the course of the lecture, if you actually have any questions, you can put it in the chat column. And if you don't want to do that, you can actually signify by raising up your hands, and we'll call you to ask the questions after the lectures. So the very first, before we start, we have to welcome everyone on board, and we have to welcome the director. Is unavoidably absent, or is he around? Mr. Inka, is the director?
He will join us.
All right, he will join us. The board secretary, that is Mrs. Riam Olajede, is someone that we know already. Then I'm actually going to introduce the head of departments of all the programs. Let's start with computer science, which is the mother department of LODLC Open and Distance Learning. The mother department of LODLC Open and Distance Learning, Mr. Akindele Yinka.
Yeah, thank you. Good morning. You're all welcome.
Morning. Thank you so much. I also welcome the head of accounting department. That's the head to accounting department, Mr. Alimi Abbas Akindako. Are you in? Okay, while we are waiting for Mr. Akindako, we should welcome the head to marketing department. A person of Mr. Olajiri. Are you in, sir? He's actually not in. And I have to welcome the biggest department in open and distance learning. That is the nursing department. So let's welcome the head tutor, nursing department. Mrs. Oyebamiji, are you in? You can unmute yourself and greet us, please. Mrs. Oyebamiji, I can see you. Kindly unmute yourself.
Yeah, okay. Oh, yeah, now. Yeah, if she's in, she should be able to unmute herself now.
Okay, unmute yourself now. You can unmute yourself now. We can't hear you. I can't hear you, and I guess we can't hear you.
Yeah, let's proceed. Thank you.
Okay, let's proceed. So we're actually starting from the very first speaker. She just sent in the chat box, good morning, everybody. So we are actually moving on. So I will call on the very first speaker to start the program, and that is no other person but the HOD computer and a dear colleague, Mr. Akindele Akinyinka Tosin. Mr. Akindele Akinyinka Tosin is an e-learning professional for over 8 years. He has been there and done that. He has done it in different countries, and he is highly skilled when it comes to research and final year project writing. So please let us welcome Mr. Akindele Akinyinka Tosin. He would actually be giving us a lecture on preparing and gathering resources for a final year project. So Mr. Akindele, you have the floor. You have the floor, please.
Yeah, thank you, moderator. Moderator did not introduce himself, so I would like to introduce him. He's Mr. Adetunji Adeyemi. He's the head student services for LODLC. So we appreciate you, sir.
Thank you.
I would like
Thank
to observe the existing protocol and appreciate the management of LODLC for making this workshop possible. We appreciate our amiable director in the name of Professor Tayo Arulogun for setting up this kind of workshop which we know that it is going to be very beneficial to you as you are taking your course through this center. We all know all of you is going to write final year project at one time or the other. So this workshop is really coming at the right time. We also want to appreciate the board secretary of LODLC in the name of Mrs. Olojedi. She has been a wonderful support for us all along the year. Also to you students, she has been a guide, making you to know what to do and what not. So we appreciate the whole management of LODLC. We appreciate the dean, we appreciate the HODs, the program coordinators, my colleagues, all tutors that are present here, and all the students that are also here. So thank you all very much for attending this workshop. Without wasting much time, I am to speak on how do you gather resources and how do you prepare for your final year project. So these are my presentation outlines. I'll first talk about what is a final year report. What are the steps that you need to take when you are preparing for your final year project? What are the platforms or the tools that you can use to gather resources? I will also talk on how you can manage your time, and I will round it up by talking about the responsibilities that is expected of you as a student when you are participating in a final year project. So what is a final year project? A final year project is an academic activity that is expected for you as a student to partake. It is a form of structured research activity, which is germane to your area of specialization and the course you are studying. So if you are studying nursing, you will not be given a final year project in Agric or one in computer. So your topic is going to be in accordance to the course or the specialization you are taking. So, and it is a compulsory activity for you to take, for you to graduate. It is part of the requirement for the degree that you are going to be conferred to. So, what is now the major aim of a final year project? The aim is to expose you to knowledge so that it is not just about what you are learning in the center or in your academic curriculum. We want you to solve problems that is peculiar, maybe to your career, to your locality, to your nation, or to the global world at large. And at the end, we want you to be skilled. You want to be a competent worker. So final year project avails you all of these opportunities. Many students think final year project is just, let me just write it and I just finish and I just go. No, it is meant to expose you. It is meant for you to know that there are real world problems that can be solved by academic researchers. So at the end of your final year project, we expect that you should be able to modulate and utilize academic knowledge and gain practical experience in an academic project. We also expect that at the end of your final year project, you will have learned soft skills, critical thinking skills. You should be able to think objectively, analytically, and critically to identify problems and to solve those problems. Final year project, we also expect you to be able to work independently. You know, in the course of the semesters or sessions that you have gone through, you have not though you might be given assignment, you might be given, so this is what final year project is availing for. Though you may be working in groups, sometimes they group you together to solve a problem, but we still expect you to work independently in solving those problems. And finally, we expect you to be able to present your results in a good oral and graphical format. You should be able to express yourself clearly without complication. No agitation, no fear. You should just come and be confident and talk about what you have learned in your final year. So what are the steps that you are supposed to follow in your final year program?
Yeah, bro.
No. Hello. While Mr. Akindele is trying to sort his network challenges, I discovered that the Ed Tutor accounting is in. Mr. Alimi AA, are you in?
Yes, I am.
All
Thank
right.
you very much.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Good morning to you.
Good morning to everyone.
Yeah, I can see a whole lot of scholars in the house. Mrs. Adioye, you are cited. Good morning.
Good morning again.
I did not introduce the Ed Studio Services. Engineer Adioye, Olasukomi. I'm so sorry. Good morning.
Good morning, bro. Good morning
Yeah.
to everyone.
All right. Okay. The Ed Nursing Services. You can unmute now and say something, please.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning. How are you, ma?
I'm fine.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So, is Mr. Akindele back online? Yeah. While we were waiting for Mr. Akindele, we can recap some of the things he said. Yeah, he said that it is actually, hello, I would like you to please mute yourself. Hello, would like you to please put yourself on mute. Thank you so much. So, kindly mute yourself, Adebayo. Thank you. So, is Mr. Akindele back? Mr. Akindele, are
I'm
you
also
back?
here. Elijah Schwab is also here. You have not
sorry.
recognized me. That is an offense from you. So I won't take it.
All right, sorry. It's not an upfront. You came in late. I have actually recognized you. So the HOD marketing, I have actually recognized you before. Please, you can greet the people, please.
Good morning, everybody.
Mr. Olajire. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
So sorry, I would never ever belittle you or actually disrespect you. We are so sorry. So Mr. Akindele is back online and he can continue from where he stopped. So Mr. Akindele, you have the floor.
Yeah, thank you. Apologies for that. We are in Nigeria and sometimes we have network challenges. So as I was saying before, that the first thing is for you to get in touch with your supervisor, to select a supervisor. And after it has been selected for you, then you research into his area of interest. Now that you already know his area of interest, the next is for you to get in touch with him and to communicate. We'll be taking questions at the end of this workshop. Please, for now, please, let's hold on with our questions. So you get in touch with your supervisor and you communicate. Students have the problem of communication. I don't know whether it's because they are shy or they don't know what is expected of them or things like that. Please ask questions. Things that you don't understand, reach out to your supervisor and they will explain to you. The next is for you to choose your topic. In most cases, your supervisor might already have topics that he wants you to work on. And if not, he might ask you yourself to come up with topics that you are convenient with, which I will speak more about soon. After topic has been picked, the next is for you to look for related literatures, research papers, conferences, articles that is related to that topic that you have been given. But it is not just for you to gather and keep. So many students will download literatures and they will just be parading it. Yes, I already have downloaded 10, I already downloaded 15. It is not enough that you download. You need to read, you need to digest. So it is when you have actually understood what is inside those literatures, then you can now start planning your own final project. So you plan your project, you create a timeline, In the first month, I want to do this. In the second month, I want to do this. In the third month, I want to do this. You come up with a timeline. And also, always make sure that your plan is realistic. Don't make a plan that you cannot afford financially. Don't make a plan that is within 3 years you will not finish. So plan your project well, prepare a timeline. If possible, use a Gantt chart to prepare your timeline and make sure you follow accordingly. And after you have done this, you've put everything in place, you've digested, then you start solving your own problem. Start writing your report, your chapter 1, your chapter 2, your chapter 3. Make sure your project report is written in the expected structure and template of LODLC. Every institution has their own template. Please make sure you have the document of that template and follow accordingly. Make sure you avoid plagiarism and you cite appropriately. The other speakers will talk about how you avoid plagiarism, how you structure them, and things like that. And before I move to the next point, always avoid using platforms that offer paid services for report. But that's what many students do now. They will go online, they will go and buy a final year report by many platforms that will have many topics that they have listed, that they already have the report, and they give it to you and you pay and you come and submit. We will know. That's what many of you don't know. So write your report by yourself and do what is necessary. Now, when you are picking your research topic, what are the things that is very, very important? One of the things that is important is that your topic should be something that interests you. Don't just pick a topic because it is available or it is given to you. Speak to your professors, speak to your librarians, or even browse the web. Make sure you understand that topic and you actually have interest in that topic. And also, make sure that topic is solving a problem, probably a problem you have identified within your locality. And finally, if your research topic is going to involve use of data sets, also make sure that those data sets are available and is enough for you to do your report. Now, what are some of the platforms by which you can use to get resources for your final year project? The first one is search engine. Search engines like Google, like Bing, like Ask.com, and so on. Many students don't know how to utilize search engines in locating resources. For example, your topic is probably you are developing a model for thyroid dysfunction prediction or something like that. You take the topic, you go into Google, you type to it, and after you finish typing that topic, you put file type PDF at the end. It tells the browser that you are only interested or basically interested in a PDF file of that topic, and your results will be streamlined to this. So you download them and you keep. Another source is books around those subject areas. You can check for ebooks online, go to libraries and read up on them. But the major ones that are much more important are the academic and research journal databases. We have Springer, we have Scopus, we have Google Scholar, Core, RUA, ePrint Archive, Library of Science. Many of these platforms, they have databases of several journals that has been published in the past. Locate them, locate those journals or those articles, and if you are unable to get them from these databases, just note the DOI. We call it the Digital Object Identifier. Copy that DOI, then you can go to some of these e-libraries links that we have provided and paste that DOI there. You will get those articles. If you go to libgen.is or scihub.se and you paste the DOI there, those articles will come up for you to download free of charge. So after this workshop, we will provide you with several links that you can use to get publications that will be useful for you when you are gathering your resources. Another one is conferences and proceedings. There are several conferences worldwide which you can attend virtually that is related to your project, where you can get knowledge. You can ask questions. You can even ask to collaborate and things like that. And your past projects, your peers, those that have graduated before you, can also provide insight. You can reach out to your supervisor and ask him for those he had supervised in the past that had probably done work on those areas that you are also about to work on. They will give it to you. They will provide an insight for you. But please, when you are giving a final project, it is meant to serve as a guide. Not that you will now go and copy it and come and submit it back to us. No. Everything that you see online or from e-libraries are meant for you. And another important point is recent publications only. Don't start looking at publication that was produced in 1982, in 1990, because those publications would have been improved upon, and the knowledge there might already be outdated. So find recent publications of 2021, of 2020, of 1919. Once a publication is above 6 years or 10 years, then it's already outdated. So the more recently published, the better. Another major thing I would like to talk about is managing your time. Many students don't start their final project on time. It is when they start saying, come and submit your project, to the end of the semester, that is your copy or where you are going to get it. No, maybe in the morning, maybe in the afternoon, or even a complete day that you will use for your literature review and for browsing for things you need. We know you are busy. We know you are, many of you are workers, but it is a prerequisite. It is a 6-unit course, for God's sake. So please take it very serious. Manage your time. You might also need to allocate a separate session where you will be taking notes. The literatures you have downloaded, that you have been digesting, things that you need to note, put them down somewhere so that you can come back to it and you will know that you have accomplished something. Areas that you think they are very relevant, you can print them out. Use color coding, code to highlight them so that next time you can easily your attention can be caught to it. And please always keep backup of your project. Many people do their project on their laptop and suddenly the laptop just crashed and the hard drive is gone. Then you be like, my project is gone, but I start working. So if you are working offline, keep at least 2 backups of your project on separate medias, maybe on flash drive, on your hard drive. But the best is for you to keep it in your Google Drive. You can download Google Drive Desktop to your laptops, which will sync your system to your Google Drive, so that whatever you do today automatically gets synced online. So if anything happens to your system, you can easily go into your Google Drive and retrieve what you have done so far. So my time is nearly up. I will round up by talking about what are the responsibilities that we are expecting of you when you are doing your final project. Number 1, always communicate with your supervisor. Schedule meetings with him, and anytime he calls for your attention, please always attend. Many times supervisor tells students, let's meet, let's talk, let's meet virtually. They will not come. They will just ignore as if they are not the one you are talking to. Please agree on a schedule of meetings with your supervisor and always ask questions on areas and tasks that you don't understand. It is a responsibility that is expected of you, and it is also the responsibility of your supervisor to answer those questions. Get useful materials, as many literatures as possible. Read, digest them so that you understand the methods of those literatures. Another one, make sure that your milestone and the objective that you are writing down, you are maintaining your progress and you always communicate it to the supervisor. Objective 1, I have achieved it. Objective 2, I have achieved it, and so on. Have a Gantt chart that will allow you to keep track of the progress of your ideas and your references. It is very, very important. So with that Gantt chart, This one I have achieved it, you tick it. That one I have achieved it, you tick it. So if you don't know what Gantt chart is, I think when we are discussing the structure, it can be sure. You can just Google search how to use Gantt chart and you will see it. Then when you are writing your report, it should be written in a way that it flows. There is a process flow. You start from general, then you come to specific. You just don't start from specific and you now go back to general. Your report should speak to your audience. Anybody that is not even from your feed, when they take your report, they should be able to know what you are talking about in a manner that is clear and concise. More will be discussed by that and by the next speaker. Then, when you are drafting your report, you don't have to finish everything before you present it to your supervisor. You have finished chapter 1, send it to him, let him read. You have done chapter 2, send it to him, let him read. We don't want to see your whole chapter 1 to 5 at once. Do it little by little and present it to your supervisor for change and amendment as you continue. And finally, there are guidelines that has been set by the university for you to implement your final year project. We have a referencing template, we have a structuring template, we have what we expected of your images, what we expected of your front matter, and many others. Please follow these guidelines so that there will be less critiques or less criticism of the work you have submitted. So I am going to rest my case here, and I believe you have gained one or two things from my talk so far. So in a quick recap, literature review is very, very important. Get as many literatures, the later the better, the more recent they are, the better. And read and digest, and always ask questions. It is very important. And with this, I believe you are going to do well in your final year report. So thank you for coming and thank you for listening. Moderator, back to you, sir.
Yeah, Mr. Akindele, thank you so much for sharing your wealth of knowledge with us. I was actually one of the students. I was just thinking, God, this is someone sharing this. She has been in this webinar for a long time. So we have questions, but before we do that, let me do a quick recap of what Mr. Akindele said. He has told us what a final year project is. He told us the steps that we have to go through, which is selecting a supervisor, getting in touch, asking questions, and choosing a topic, then the desktop research, which is literature review, and he told us to read and digest. It's not that we should just have a whole lot of journals and not read and digest it. Then we should plan our timeline. Then we should actually write our projects in a structured manner. That is, we have to use the LODLC format because we are in LODLC. We should avoid plagiarism, and also we should avoid using paid services. He also told us platforms where we can get enough journals or enough literature for us to use. He told us about the search engine, academic and research databases, journals, and all that. He also told us to manage our time. And he said something that is also very germane. He said that we should create a backup, basically by using Google Drive or anyway, so that if there is a problem with our system, we would have our projects back and won't start from the beginning. So thank you so much, Mr. Kindele. Now we have some questions. So I would actually start by calling Owanrieta Beauty. Owanrieta Beauty, what's your question, please? You can unmute your...
I think we should take questions after our presentations because
okay,
of our time.
Okay, we should take questions after our presentations, okay?
Yes.
So, okay, we'll take the questions after our presentations. So we are calling on the second speaker, Engineer Adiola Sukomi. Are you ready for us, sir?
Yes, I'm ready. Thank you.
Okay, you can share your screen now, sir.
Okay. Can we all see my screen?
Yeah, we can see your screen.
All right, thank you. Good morning, everybody. Permit me to observe the existing protocol. Now, the next topic will focus majorly on structures and elements Sorry for the interruption. I'm trying to put some things in place. So the next topic will be on structures and elements of a good project report. My name is Adeoye Olasunkanmi. Now, my presentation outline is going to cover majorly these 4 points. That is, what is a project and project report. I know my colleague have explained this in detail, so I will not dwell much on it. And why do you need to write a project report? That also has been covered. But what is the structure and element of a good project report? You have to pay attention to this. And for the students out there, I will employ you to get your pen and your paper, because in presenting your project report, these structures and elements are what makes your project perfect. They are what makes your project presentable. They are what makes your project acceptable. So you have to pay attention to this. Then we are going to see how to write a problem statement, because we have seen over time that students always have problem in writing problem statements. Thereafter, I'm going to open a project that has been done for you to see an example of what we are. What is a project? Like my colleague explained earlier, you know, project is not what you do for infinite time, but it's something that is temporary. You have to have a time bound for it. And if you are doing a project and you are obtaining a result that has been obtained earlier, that is no more a project, it is a routine. I hope you understand me. So a project must have a unique product and must have a time bound. Also, what is a project report? Is a written evidence of tasks, processes, and activities that has been undertaken and accomplished. So it is this project report that we create reproducibility, we call it reproducibility. That is, when somebody that is not there, maybe you have produced a unique product now and you are gone, another person that is interested in that product can take it, follow the processes that you took in doing your project, and the person will still achieve the same result that you have achieved. Then why do you do projects? You know, it shows students' ability to integrate the knowledge they have acquired from more than one courses or subjects that they have been taking. You know, since when you have entered 100 or 200 level, as the case may be, you have done different courses. So your ability to use the knowledge you have acquired in all these courses to put it together and use it to solve a problem, that is what we want to see when we ask you to do a project. And it shows students' ability to present or communicate information clearly. If you cannot present your project to us clearly, that shows you cannot communicate clearly. And what that is trying to tell us is that you are not ready to graduate. That is the information you are trying to pass to us. So project report, project exercise is meant to assess your skills in this area. Now to the matter of the discussion. That is the structure and element of a good project report. The first thing that you should take care of is your front page. Now, I will refer you to some textbooks that you have been using in the process of your learning. You know, you will see some things like preface, you will see acknowledgements, you will see, in fact, these are the very first pages that you will see in any textbooks. And how do you identify them? They are identified with Roman numeral on their page number. You will see high, double high, you know, Roman numerals numbering method. That is what is usually used to identify this front page of a project report. Now, what does this front page contain? It contains the title page. This title page, we have your information, your matric number, your project topic, your department, and your year of presentation of that project. The next one is the certification page. This certification page is for you to certify that you are the one that actually did the project. Then the attestation page is where your HOD is going to attest that the project was carried out in his institution, in his department. Then the acknowledgement page is where you have the opportunity to thank those who have contributed to the success of the project in one way or the other. Then the table of contents, we all know table of contents. These are the list of all the topics that have been covered in your project. List of figures, these are all the figures that are present in your project from chapter 1 to chapter 5 or chapter 6, as the case may be. So you are going to list all the figures in a table. Then also list of tables that are made reference to in your report. You are going to list them. List of notations and meanings. Then your abstract will follow. Now, I want you to pay attention to what we call your chapter 1, 2, and 3 at the proposal stage and the project when it is completed. Now, at the proposal stage, the difference there is I will. But when you are now presenting your report, that is, you are reporting what you have done, then all your I will be, it has been done. I hope you understand now that that process has been done. You now report in past tense. Now, moving on the structures. Now, if you see your screen, this is an example of the front page. Now, let us identify the elements in this front page. Now, the first one here, that's durability of, that is the topic as a reinforcing material in concrete. This is the topic. Then your name is going to be written here. This is your name. Then you will have your matric number under. That's your identity in your institution. So this is going to be your matric number. Then if you have gotten a degree before you come to LAUTECH Open and Distance Learning, we want to see those degrees here. But if you have not gotten any degree before now, it's not so important that you put anything there. You just leave it blank. Then you put this impartial fulfillment of the requirement for the award of Bachelor of Science in Computer Science. If you are in nursing, Bachelor of Nursing Science in Nursing Science. I hope you understand me. You put it as it's appropriate to you. Then submitted to, then you write the name of your department, the faculty where your department is domiciled, and the university. You write it like that. Then you put the date here. It is very important. Now, this is what certification page look like. So this project report or dissertation, thesis, with the title, you write the title of your report, you write your name, was carried out under our supervision. So this certification is to certify that you actually did the project under the supervision of your supervisor. Then your supervisor is going to write his name and sign. I hope you understand me now. Now, this is the attestation page. This is what it looks like. So I hereby attest that the research work was carried out in the department of so. So the department will be put here, then the name of the head of the department, the signature, and date. Now, if you pay attention to the certification and the attestation page, you will see that there is an authentication that is important before your final report is submitted. And the authentication is for your supervisor to sign and for your head of department to sign. It is very, very important. Now we'll move to chapter 1. What does your chapter 1, what does it entail? It establishes the basis for your research. You know, anybody that wants to read your report, once they open the chapter 1, what you want to cover, how you want to cover it, it will be established in chapter 1. So chapter 1, we have some subheadings, which is the background information. You give us insight into what you are about to study. Your statement of problem. Why do you want to study it? Your aim and objective. Now, this aim and objective is very important. Why is it important? The aim will tell us the overall aim of your research work. Maybe you want to study how they produce biomass. That is your aim. The aim of this research work is to study how biomass can be produced from so, and so. The aim of this research work is to develop a database system by collecting students' information. The aim of this research work is to study the risk factor of diabetic patients. Can you see that the aim is very direct? Now, when it now comes to objectives, objectives are what will tell us the step by step of how you are going to achieve this aim. Let me give you an example. Let's say you are in Lagos. You want to come to Ogbomoso for your LODLC examination. Now, your overall aim is to come and write your exam at LAUTECH Open and Distance Learning Center. That is your aim. The specific objectives in order to achieve this aim will be, number one, you are going to leave your house to go to car park in Lagos, maybe Ojota or Bega. When you get to those car park, objective number two, you will enter a bus coming to Ogbomoso. Objective number three, you will stop at LAUTECH and come to LODLC for your examination. Now, if you see those objectives, they have helped us to achieve the aim of coming to Ogbomoso to write your examination. I believe that is simple and direct. Now, justification of the study. Justification of the study is that you cannot just pick a topic in oblivion. You have to justify why you actually want to do the topic. You have to justify it. And the scope of the study. The scope of the study is going to tell us the boundary of your study. For example, you said, the example I gave, you want to come and write your exam at LAUTECH Open and Distance Learning, Ogbomoso. You know, the scope will be, this research work is only limited to people coming from Lagos to Ogbomoso. It will not be applicable to people coming from Ilorin, to people coming from Abuja or Kaduna. I believe you understand me, because there is no Ojota in Kaduna. Even if there is Ojota in Kaduna, is it coming to Ogbomoso? I hope you understand. So that is what your scope will entail. Then the next of that is chapter 2. Your chapter 2 is going to encompass your literature review. Now, when we say literature review, what do we mean? Literature review is you have to explain or discuss the work that has been done in those areas, things that they encounter, how they go about it. Then you establish the research gap so that it will not be as if you are doing what has already been done. Let me give you an example. Maybe somebody has studied how diabetics affect patients, and the person discussed it extensively. Now you want to do your own topic on, maybe you want to study the effects or the response of diabetic patients to maybe excretion, urination at night or whatever. I'm just picking this thing offhand. Now, you now want to justify, there will have been so many reports, so many projects on diabetics. Maybe all those projects, they did not consider those who are hypertensive in their research. Now your own, after you have explained those past projects, you now put the research gap that although so many work has been done on people that are diabetics, but none of them are considered those who have hypertensive case and are also diabetic. Now that has given you a niche for you to work more on your research work. So in the process, you will have established that people that I'm working on, they are diabetic patients that are also hypertensive. And from there, your literature review will cover patients with hypertension. What has been their response over the years? How are they being treated? And you discuss extensively on that. Then you move to chapter 3. Your chapter 3 will be your methodology. Now, in your methodology, we do not want you to explain anything. Any explanation you want to do should be covered in chapter 2. I believe you are following me. This point is very, very important. Now, any discussion at all should be in your literature review in chapter 2. Now, once you get to chapter 3, what we want to see is that I will go to LODLC Teaching Hospital to do this. We'll go to this place to do this, go to this place to do this. That is your proposal stage. And in your report stage, it will be patients were examined from LODLC Teaching Hospital. I hope you understand me. And this methodology will be in unison with your objective. In fact, a very simple way to make your methodology more simpler is to take your objective one by one and you discuss the method to achieve those objectives. I believe you are following me. Now, your methodology, you describe the experimental procedure and data collection. You include a schematic diagram of the apparatus that you will be using. You know, if it is an experimental procedure, you show us the picture of the equipment you'll be using and all that. Also, you let your word be in a past tense and passive voice, as third person passive voice. Like I said earlier, that a patient was examined from LODLC Teaching Hospital. Now, the example given, a tank was filled with 5 liters of water. No, he said, you write like, not that I fill a tank with 5 liters of water. I believe you understand what I'm trying to explain to you. So it will not be an action voice that I did this, I did that, but this was done, that was done. I believe you understand me. Now, in your chapter 4, it will focus more on your results and discussion of your results. Recall that in chapter 3, we have discussed the method that you will use. And after you have used that method, you must have gotten some results. So it is in chapter 4 that you will present these results and you will discuss them. I hope you are following me. Now, you state the results before presenting any graph. This is very important. When you want to state your result, you first explain, you first discuss, then you present the graph. And when you are presenting a graph, a figure or picture, they must be on a separate page and be referred to. It's not that they are going to be in the same page with your discussion. Your graph will be on a separate page, alone. It is very important to take note of these things. Don't worry, I will show you an example of a report that has been written, that has been completed so that you will see it. Then you point out the most significant portion of your research findings. You indicate key trends or relationship. Then you highlighted expected or unexpected findings. When you see something that is significant, you discuss it. Then when you are presenting your results, you see graph and tables at times, they might be presenting same information. And in reports, in project reports, that is tautology. That means you are repeating the same thing. So is either you present graph on its own or you present table on its own. It is not good for you to present graph and tables that are giving us the same information. No, it is not good and it is not acceptable. So then you move to chapter 5, where you have your conclusion and recommendation. Now in chapter 5, what's from all the studies that you have done, then you must be able to draw a conclusion. What have you learned? Where can this study be applicable? the problem that you have solved. This is where you are able to present it. Then you can recommend, in the process of doing your report, then you might see another research gap that other people might work on. So here you make your recommendation that if another person consider this, and this, it will be a good place to work on. That is what recommendation is all about. And if there's any other variables that you wish you could have considered in your own project process, but you did not consider it, you can also recommend it for the coming students so that they can work on it. Then after that, you go to your references. LODLC have a referencing format. The next speaker will take you through that. Then you have appendices. This appendix, there are some tables that have a raw data of raw data that you cannot present in your results. This you can put in your appendices. For computer science students, some of them might write codes. Maybe they develop a website or they write a programs. They write 1 or 2 programs. They can't present it in their result. So all this code will be in their appendices. I hope you understand me now. So that is where appendices come in. Now, there are some things you also need to pay special attention to when you are writing your report. Now, one of those things is that at LODLC Open and Distance Learning, we recommend New Times Romans for our fonts, and the size is 12. New Times Romans, size 12. Now, for your paragraphing, the line space we use is 2.0. 2.0. This thing is very, very important because we observe that so many students are submitting reports that are not in New Times Romans. They are using other text styles. Some, the font is 14, some 10. But at LODLC Open and Distance Learning, we accept font 12. Then your paragraphing should be 2.0. And when you want to present your table, now see the example of table here. Can you see? Now, when you have your heading here, then there is a line at the top, a line at the bottom. Then you write whatever it is you want to write. Then a line at the top to encompass it. Then when you want to name your table, you name your table at the top. Table 1.1, then the name of the table, then the source of the table. If the table is coming in the literature review side, that's chapter 2, you have to write the source of the table you are presenting. But it is coming in chapter 4, that is your presentation of results. You don't need to put the source. Putting pictures, you have to write figure 1.1. Now, figure 1, this one means chapter 1, and the other one means the first picture in chapter 1. If you have another picture in chapter 1, it will be figure 1.2. Now, if it is in chapter 2 that you are presenting the figure, it will be figure 2.1. That means chapter 2, figure number 2. I hope you understand me. Likewise for table, if you are presenting the table in chapter 4, and it is the first table, it will be table 4.1. If you are presenting it in chapter 3, it will be table 3.1. And make sure you put the source of your picture, because if you are the originator, there is no problem. But if you are not the originator of the picture, you have to put the source. Now, I want to show you an example of a project that has been done. All right. Okay, can you see my screen now? Now, this is an example of a project that has been completed. Now, can you see the title page? See how it is arranged. This is the topic, effect of some selected thermophysical properties on product evolution and yield during biomass pyrolysis. That's the title. There is the name of the student, previous degree obtained, and the matric number. A thesis submitted to your department, faculty, and the university for the degree that you want to be awarded and the dates. Now, this is the certification page. Can you see? Then the acknowledgement page, where you can acknowledge those who have assisted you in the project in one way or the other. And this is the abstract page, Then the table of contents. Now, this is what the table of contents looks like. Can you see the title of each of your discussion and the reference page number? Now, if you recall, I told you that your front page matter is identified with Roman numeral at the page number. Can you see the page number here? All right. Now, the list of figures is something like this. That's the figure number, the title of the figure, and the page where the figures will be seen. Also, list of table, same thing is applicable. Then your list of notations, that is for those that have calculations in their report, you will put the notations, the meaning of the notations, and the units for the expression of those notations. Then you go to your chapter 1, that's introduction. You give the background of the study, you give your statement of problem. You know, I told you that we are going to have a practical demonstration on the statement of problem. Then you come to your aims and objective. Now, look critically at this aim. The aim of this research work was to investigate the effect of thermophysical properties of biomass material on product evolution and yield during biomass pyrolysis. Can you see this aim? Now, if you go back to the title page, you check the title of the report, you will see that there is a relationship between aim and the title. Effect of some selected thermophysical properties on product evolution and yield during biomass pyrolysis. I hope you understand what I just said now. Now see the objective. The objective, in order to achieve this aim, you develop a model based on so, and so, develop a simulation code, then you investigate the thermophysical properties, then you get your results and you have achieved your aim. Then you justify the study and the scope. Now see the scope. I said this research work focused on investigation of the effects of those thermophysical properties that are being considered, their yield at a certain temperature. Therefore, the result that will be obtained for this project will not be applicable for anything that the temperature is outside the temperature that is being considered. Can you see what scope looks like? Yes, that is good. Now I want to show you a picture, how a picture is being presented ahead. Can you see in this research? You see this picture is the only one standing on this page. That is how we want to see your report. Then after that, you continue whatever discussion you are saying. Can you see there is another picture here? You see this discussion, it stops there. There's another picture here, another picture. Then you continue your discussion at the next page. So also you do for your pictures. If you are posting any picture, that is how you go about it. Now, let us see the practical application of what we want to consider now. Okay, before we go to the practical application, your language and vocabulary. In writing your report, you have to be straightforward and concise. We don't want you to be beating around the bush. Go straight to the point, explain what you want to explain so that you won't waste the time of the person that is reading the report and you give detailed information. You use simple terms and not jargons. You keep your sentence very short and simple. Then you have to be technical. You use terms that are referenced to your department. For nursing science people, you use terms that are particular to you. For computer science students, we want to see programs, we want to see commands, we want to see programming language and all that. Then you have to be specific. You don't have to be general. We do not want you to be general. When you are presenting your report, you are saying, I got something close to something degree centigrade. No, we don't want to see that. You don't want to see something pretty like roughly. No, it is not acceptable. You have to be specific. As at the time I did this, the temperature was 30 degrees centigrade. I hope you understand me. Now let's see this practical example of writing a statement of problem. The analogy that was used here is for a person that is sick and wants to see a doctor to complain. Now, pay attention on this key thing. The first thing is to state the ideal situation. When you go to your doctor, you say, I'm supposed to be healthy. I'm supposed to be strong. I'm supposed to be able to run 100 kilometers per hour per day. That's the ideal situation. Then you state the current situation. However, I cannot run 50 kilometers. I'm not well. I'm not so okay. Then you state measures that have been put in place over time to solve the problem. That is, what have you done to solve this problem? I have taken different medications. I have tried herbal concussion. I have gone to prayer mountains. I have prayed. I have fasted. Then you state the persistence of the problem. But yet, it's like this problem refused to go. I don't know what is wrong with this problem. It refused to go. Then you state how that problem is affecting you. I said, this problem does not allow me to concentrate. I cannot eat at all. In fact, I cannot sleep very well. When I sleep, I'm seeing masquerade that are chasing me on my sleep. You state how the problem is affecting you. Then you state the reason for your research. That is, as somebody that is sick, you state the reason why you have come to see the doctor. You say, I feel that this sickness may kill me. If I don't concentrate on tackling this problem, it will cause another problem in my body. Then you state the gap in knowledge. That is, you tell the doctor that, well, it's not that I did not discuss with people that have this kind of problem. In fact, somebody said I should go and look for one medicine, and I've gotten the medicine, but it's like we are not going through the same problem. You know, I feel using this method will make it does not make a significant difference when I took this drug. In fact, I took paracetamol, it did not improve. Then you conclude. And it's because of this that I've come to you for solution. So now, the idea here is, if you are able to follow this guide, you state the ideal situation, you state current situation, you state measures that have been put in place over time to solve the problem. You state the persistence of the problem. You state the effect of the problem. Then you state the reason for the research. You state the gap. Then you conclude your statement. You will have a very wonderful problem statement. Now, from the previous this thing that I show you, let me quickly show you this so that you can see what I mean. Statement of the problem. What is the ideal situation? Is that pyrolysis and gasification? That is the ideal situation. I hope you get it now. Now, see this second paragraph. It's talking about what people have been doing and the problem that is being encountered. I hope you understand now. You see, hence, one of the main challenges in this process is how to reduce this. I hope you understand now. Now, see the research gap. The research gap is here. Said, although these methods are effective, previous method that has been explained earlier, but because of some things, costs, accessibility, and all that, it makes it difficult to use. Then that is why we are now proposing the method that we want to use. I hope you understand me now. That is why you are proposing the method you want to use. Therefore, can you see the concluding paragraph? You said this research is on this. I hope you understand me now. So that is how to have a wonderful statement of problem. All right, in conclusion, it has been established that your project report is an official document. So once you are done writing your project report, make sure the information there is precise, the information is concrete, and is about different aspects that you have engaged or you have done in the project. Then it is a mandatory document that must be submitted. If you do not submit it, you are not going to graduate. So with this, I believe you have gained one or two things. Questions will be taken after the other presentation. Thank you so much for your time. The moderator, over to you. Thank you. The moderator, sir, are you there?
Hello.
Thank you.
We can hear you, sir. You can go on.
Mr. Moderator, are you online? Okay, thank you, Mr. Olasunkami, for the wonderful presentation you have given us.
Thank you, sir.
Without wasting much time, we'd like to call on the next speaker when the moderator will give us a recap of everything by the time the next speaker finishes, and we take questions. The next speaker is in the name of Mrs. Fajobi Deborah. She is the former head Agric Science Programs, and she's going to be giving a talk on plagiarism and how you can reference your project report accordingly. Mrs. Fajobi, are you available, ma'am?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Adeyinka Oluwatosin. Permit me to observe all protocols. Let me share my screen so that you'll be able to see what I want to talk upon. Can you all see my screen?
Yes, we can see it.
Yes. I'll be talking on references how and avoiding plagiarism in project reports. I am DT Fajobi. Here are the outlines that I'll be talking about: the introduction, the reference styles, how you can cite a reference within the text, how you can list your reference at the end of your project, at the end of chapter 1, chapter 2, 3, 4, and 5, and some of the software citation that you can make use of, and also how you can avoid plagiarism. So what do you understand by referencing? It can be described as giving credit with citation to the source of information used in your body of the work, or the writers from whom you borrowed different words, different ideas, or anything that you borrow from that author or person. So the reason for referencing are as follows. In order to enable the reader to see how updated you are about the information you're giving about your thesis, and also to avoid any form of argument that might come up, and also to inform your readers of a wider scope and depth of your reading, and also to avoid plagiarism, and also to give kudos to the original author for their own ideas and work in which you want to work upon. So those are the reasons for referencing. You can see this man that is having a lot of headache in referencing a lot of journals he has made use of. See how he's doing his head. He has a lot of journals on his table and he's checking how he's going to reference all this. So what are the things that you need to reference? You have to reference a quote, any phrase that you make use in a journal, you have to reference it. Either you make use of a textbook, which is not your own, even if it is your own, you have to reference it. The ideas that you got it from different journals or textbooks, you have to reference all of them too. The data that you want to make use of, you have to reference everything. So we have different styles of references. And these are, we have many, but I'll just talk about this little. I just listed out this little. We have Vancouver style, we have upper style. The full meaning of upper is American Psychological Association. We have Chicago style, we have Harvard style. All these style depend on the ones your lecturers or the university that you are ask you to make use of. But here in LODLC at LODLC, we are making use of upper style, 7th edition. Please take note of this. If you want to do your referencing, you make use of upper style, 7th edition. So if you want to cite the references within a text, in the body of your work, you make use of the author year method. And the example will follow those. In this case, you use the name of the author in the writing. The year of publication will come in parentheses after the author's name, and the title of that topic can follow. For example, now you see Fajobi 2016 conducted a research into the impact of infrastructure on productivity of food industry. If there are two authors, you can cite them as Ajetunmobi and Fajobi 2016 conducted a research into the impact of anything they are working upon. And if there are more than two authors, you make use of it all. Fajobi et al. 2001. And like the previous presenters have talked about, make use of recent journals. Don't make use of outdated ones, because it will help you in your journal. You will see a lot of ideas, a lot of things, a lot of ideas, a lot of things that have been done on the work that you are doing. And also, at the end of your project, you have to reference all the in-text citation that you make use of in the body of your work. You will list them at the back of your thesis, and it's been titled references. And each item cited in the reference list must have been cited in the body of your work. And all sources appearing in the references must be orderly arranged alphabetically by their surname. And this reference list should be double spaced, like the second presenter that said, and there was no line between the references, and it will be an hanging index used in the second and subsequent lines of the each entry. When I get there, you will see, yes, this is where I will show you what I've talked about earlier. So what are the things that you need to list, to reference? You will make use of the titles of the book. The journals must be italicized. The articles, the title of the articles or the chapter that you use will not be italicized, and also it must not be put in quotation marks. The volume number must be italicized, but the EU number must not be italicized. The journal article should have the following order: the surname, the initials and the year, the title of the paper, the publication, the name of the journal in its italics, and volume number, and the pages. So let me show you the style that we use here at LODLC. You can see Fajobi DT 2021. That is the name, the surname, followed by the initials, followed by the name in parentheses. The parentheses I'm talking about is in brackets. So you put full stop, followed by the title of the paper or publication, and also followed by the name of the journal. You italize it. The next one is the volume number and the EU. The EU is the one inside the brackets too, and the pages is the last one. Some do have DOI. If they have the DOI, you will place it at the back of the page number. So since you are going to write a report and assignment that will require a number of references, it will be very good for you to make use of some citation software that can help you to arrange or manage your references. There are different citation programs or citation sites that you can make use of that can help you to arrange all these things very well. Some are free, some cost money to use. Example of some of these citations software, we have Zotero. Zotero is free to use. You just go to Google. I will show you, I will demonstrate how to make use of some of these. You can use Mendeley. Mendeley too is free. You can make use of the www.citethis4me.com. You can make, it's free too. You can make use of LaTeX. LaTeX is not free. EndNote too is not free. So all these things will help you to arrange your journals. You just select the type of edition, the type of referencing style that you want in this, and it will arrange everything for you. It will do it for you very, very well. So, like I said earlier, that if you did not reference any journal or any author, it means, or you copy forward thing, it means you plagiarize another person's idea. So this will now lead us to plagiarism. Plagiarism is presenting another idea as if you're the owner of the idea, either copying directly or try to manipulate, and you do not reference the owner of the journal, of the ideas. You plagiarize. Is that you copy or paste text or images without saying the source of those images. It is called plagiarism. And plagiarism is a very, very great offense in academic settings. You can be dismissed. Someone can go to jail because you plagiarize. So it is very, very important to make sure that when you're writing your thesis, you're writing your report, you did not plagiarize. Not showing when a quote is a quote. When you're summarizing information without showing the original source. Even if you want to paraphrase, if you want to change words, you still have to acknowledge the original also. So how can you avoid plagiarism? You can avoid plagiarism by keeping track of the source you consult in your research, like the man that I showed you earlier, that he flips all the materials he makes use of on his table, and he's worried on how to reference those journals. And also, you can paraphrase from your resources and add your own ideas to it. And also, you can credit the original author in the in-text citation I mentioned earlier, and also at the reference list. And also, you can make use of plagiarism checker before you submit your report to your supervisors. There are lots of software that you can make use of to paraphrase your words. We have QuickBooks, we have Paraphrase Online, we have Spinal Chip 6. There are many. You just go to Google and type it there. It will show you. Just put your own sentence there. It will try and paraphrase that sentence for you, and in such a way that it will suit what you are still passing across, what the idea you still want to pass across to the people or to your supervisor or any layman that picked up your thesis and read through it. And also we have a lot of software that you can use to check if you've plagiarized or not. We have Checker, we have Turnitin, we have FlexScan. Just put your material, your report there, it will run it for you. You too, you will see the percentage of your how much you've plagiarized, and it has some percentage. If it is more than 18%, it shows all your work, you've plagiarized everything. But if it's below 25%, you are still okay. So those are the software that you can make use of. I want to show you how you can make use of some citation software. So I will stop sharing this screen and take you to my hello, can you see my screen again?
No.
Okay.
No, not yet.
All right, I will share it now.
Can
you see?
Okay, it's up
Yes,
now.
ma, we saw Google.
Yes, this is Google. Just pressing on your Google engine, type http://www.citethis4me.com. Press enter.
Please help us zoom it.
Hello, you said what?
Please, can you help us zoom it so that we can see it very well?
Can you see it now?
Yes, we can.
Yes. So you just click on it, you log in. When you click enter, it will bring a lot of things for you. And you will click on this, the first one. So you can see it now, what it brought for me here. So you see different citation. We have the Harvard, the Harper, the Hem. You just put the title of the journal, or you pick the name of that person, you put it there. It will search it, and you just click on Harper. It will bring the name of those things and to source it for you, and you will find. So another one is Sotero. If you go online on the Google engine also. Click on www.sotero.com. It is free. You have to download this on your laptop. So when you download it, you install it. It's like a connector. You click on this one. I've already have this one on my laptop. So it's like a plugin. When you download it, it will now plug into your Microsoft Word. So from there, everything you want to download, all the journals that you want to download, you will just be saving it on the Sotero. It will save on, it will ask you, do you want to save on Sotero? Just click yes. So after that, when you're through, just go to one side like this at the edge of the Microsoft Word. Pick Sotero and just click on it and tell him to list all those references for you. It will, you click the type of reference, the style that you want. Just click on it, it will generate all those references for you. And you go and sort it out, place it at the back of your thesis, and you're good to go. You arrange them alphabetically according to. So I think you should be able to put your hands on these things and you give it a trial. If you have anything, you can feel free to check on me. So thank you for your rapt attention. Mr. Moderator, over to you, sir.
Thank you so much. That was a beautiful presentation. Yeah, I wasn't expecting anything less because I know that you give us the very best on your birthday. Happy birthday, Ma.
Thank you, sir.
That was a very good presentation. If I should make a quick recap, you told us what referencing is and why do we reference. You also told us that in LODLC, the referencing style accepted and adopted is APA 7. You also showed us that the ones in the body of the work is called citations and why we have to have the list at the back of our work. You also mentioned that what is not in the body of the work should not be included in our references list, and what is in our references list must be included in the body of the work. You also told us that we should avoid plagiarism, and also showed us free referencing software like Zotero, Mendeley, Cite This For Me, and then you also mentioned softwares that can help check our research work for plagiarism and how we can correct it. So thank you so much. That was a beautiful presentation. Thank you so much. Now we'll go to the students. During your presentation, I realized that the director of the center, Professor Oti Arulogun, came in, and we cannot have such a big wig in our midst and not recognize. So the director, LODLC Open and Distance Learning, the brain behind this webinar. Welcome, sir. We don't know if you have one or two things to share with us, sir.
I'm very nice.
All right, thank you so much. I want to appreciate everybody for your participation and the presenters. They've actually done wonderfully well. And I'm also happy that we see a large number of students who have participated. And the main purpose of this is to ensure that finalists, they know how to write their report, project report at the end of the day. We want you to write something that when you finish after 5 years and you look at your report, you will also be proud of your report. And other people will also be able to cite your work and say, oh, so person work did a particular research at LODLC at this particular point in time. So it's a good thing that we have done. So I also want to encourage you when we ask you to join some extracurricular activities like this, I want you to participate effectively. So I want to say thank you. And also very soon we'll introduce some things we call some learning that you have to do additional learning that will enhance your employability. So we roll that out very soon. So I want to say thank you for everybody for coming. I'm actually on transit, but I've been with you since the beginning. So thank you so much, Mr. Moderator and all the presenters. All right, bye.
All right, bye. Thank you very much, sir. So it's time for question and answers. And we would, if you have any question, you can please signify. So you can please signify by raising up your hands, or you can actually put it in the chat. I got one question from one of the students, Obioma Glory, and she asked, after project defense of chapter 1 to 3, can we still edit the project before final defense? So our presenters, who would actually answer that question?
Okay, thank you.
The question, let me ask the question again. She said, after project defense of chapter 1 to 3, which is the predator stage, can we still edit the project before the final defense?
Yes, yes. You can still edit what is inside your chapter 1 to 3. However, make sure your supervisor is carried along. Communication is very, very important. So whatever amendments you made to your chapter 1 and 3 should be in accordance to the guide that has been done with your supervisor. So as long as you don't alter it in a way that is contradictory to your objectives, you are good to go.
All right, thank you so much. Afolabi Hamid, you have the floor. Afolabi Hamid, you have the floor.
You can go ahead and you can unmute yourself.
You can unmute yourself and ask the question.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Yeah.
Hello, sir. Yeah. Yes, I did. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Thanks so much for the lecture this morning. My question is, sir, is it going to be individual or group? Like, is it going to be individual writings or group?
Okay.
That's my question.
I think I can answer that, or should I go to the presenters to answer it?
Yes, I think I can answer that.
Okay,
The
sir.
projects are individual. You write your report individually, you put your name, you put your matric number. There's also possibility of you
Yeah, I guess the network is bad. It's actually in transit. Yeah, you could have both. Okay, sir. Hello, sir.
Okay, I was saying that individual students will write their reports individually. But it's also possible that you are working as a group, or you must write your report individually. How do you want to take ownership? So project reports is individual. You have your name, you have your matric number on your report. I hope I'll be able to answer the question clearly.
Okay, sir. Okay, yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Ebiri Okirike asked, okay, before that, let's ask Adegoke Borishade your question. Adegoke Borishade. Okay, Ebiri Okirike asked, why do some professors make things difficult for students? Well, I want to say that in LODLC Open and Distance Learning, our supervisors are very friendly, and they try to make life as easy as possible. So you should, but like one of the presenters has actually mentioned, communication is key. And if you communicate well with your supervisor, everything you want to do will be very, very easy and simple to achieve. So Adegoke Borishade, do you have your question now?
I want to appreciate the coordinator and the management and the presenters for the seminar. My question goes to the first speaker, sir. And the question is, in a situation where the topic of interest of the student is different from what the supervisor is having, is there a flexibility of allowing the student to do the course? Because sometimes if somebody is working in a place of work, there are some topics that are of interest to that organization. And if a student wants to do that type of project, is it possible for the supervisor to accept the project that the student presents? Thank you. That's the question.
Okay. Mr. Akindele, are you there?
Okay, thank you, Mr. Adegoki, for that question. Yes, in some cases, the student might have things they want to work on. But in my experience, in most cases, what those students think they want to work on are not even researchable. I have had students that come and say, I want to work on this, I want to work on that. And by the time you ask them questions, you find out that they actually have no idea on what they want to do, or it might even be something that is not researchable. So if you look at what I first presented, that if a supervisor is choosing for you, the first thing you do is find out his area of interest. He is your supervisor. True, he can afford you the flexibility of picking some topics by yourself. And if he deemed it fit that it is something you can research and you notice that probably your topic is not researchable, or you already have something, you already have that topic that you have kept somewhere, or somebody else's topic that you want to use and copy, then he will exercise his authority by declining you that opportunity. It is not a right, it is a privilege if your supervisor allows you to work with what you bring. So that's why I said communication is very, very important. Communicate to him in a way that is respectful, is cautious, and let him understand why you have interest in that topic. And I'm sure if you do that, he will give you the same courtesy you've extended to him by making sure that you do it the right way. But some students think it is their right. They start say, yes, this is what I want. No, it is not a right, it is a privilege. So at your level, you communicate effectively with your supervisor and follow his guidance, and you'll be fine. I hope that answers your question.
Thank you, sir.
Obioma Glory, you can unmute yourself and go ahead.
Good morning, sirs. Good morning, Matt.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for the wonderful presentation. My question is on chapter 1 on sampling size and sampling techniques. You know, there are different ways to get your sample size. I'm not so clear with those.
Okay, you.
Hello. Hello, Obioma Glory. If I can get you right, you said that your question is on sampling size and sampling technique. And you're not so clear about it. One, because, hello, do we have any of Mr. Akindele?
Yes.
Ajade, do you want to answer that or should I go?
Go ahead.
All right, thank you. When we talk about sampling size and sampling techniques, you know, in a research, you are dealing with a population, and then you want to take samples from that population, which should actually be a representation of the population. The reason for taking samples from the population is because the population is much, and it is beyond your research to be able to get data from each and every member of that population. That is why you have to take a small portion of that population, study them and make a generalization over the entire population. So in doing that, you want to make sure that the sample that you take, the sample you're interested in studying, are a representation of that population. And that is why you have to use sampling techniques. And the sampling techniques could actually be simple random, it could be systematic, it could be stratified, it could be quota, and it could be cluster sampling. At the same time, the number, that's the sampling size, it has to be scientific. So this is done using some formulas. When you know the population, you can use the Yari-Yamanen formula or the Michael-Slovin formula on your population in order to get a specific sample size. The goal is to make sure that the sites that you actually draw from the population and the people that you draw from your population are scientific. Do you understand? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. So, Abu Melovet, you have the floor.
Teachers, I think we have some questions in the comments. So
yeah, I'll consider them too. Okay, Lovet,
Good morning,
you have the floor.
sir.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for the opportunity. Thank you for the presenters. Thank you, Professor, for joining us on this platform. My question is, we have been grouped already because I believe that this presentation does not only concern nursing students. Those of us that are in the nursing students OGO, we are grouped already. So I don't know the idea of us writing an individual report, project reports. Please, I'm not really clear on that aspect.
Okay. I feel that we have the head of e-tutors nursing in the house. Mrs. Ibamiji, are you in the house, ma'am? Mrs. Ibamiji. Okay, we'll come back. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah. You're in the house. The question is, did you hear the question, ma'am?
No, please.
Yeah, a student said that the nursing students were grouped to carry out a particular project. That would they be writing an individual report or a group report?
I can't hear you very well.
Okay, let me go again.
All right, Mr. Adeyemi, yes. In order to address the question she asked, you know, they have been grouped to work together and achieve the project that has been given to them. But each one of them will have to own the report. When they own the report, they write it as if they are the one that did it. It's a group work, but each one of you have to own it. I hope you understand me now. So you are not going to put your names on the report. It's only presenting the report is going to write his or her name on that report. Those putting their names on the report. I think the director has addressed this earlier on. So thank you.
Okay. Someone said, is there a difference between aim and objective of a research project?
Clearly, clearly there's a difference. That was why I make reference to the relationship between aim and your project topic. The aim is going to tell you what that project intends to achieve ab initio. I hope you understand. Why the objectives are the steps by which the aim will be achieved. And I make an example for you that a student that is coming LODLC Ogbomoso to write an exam. The aim is for that student to come and write the exam. Why the objective is, number one, you have to leave your house to go to the park. Objective number two, you have to board a bus that is coming to Ogbomoso Objective number 3, when you get to Ogbomoso, you have to come to LODLC. That is when you can achieve the overall aim of coming to Ogbomoso to your exam. I believe I'm clear with that.
Very clear, sir. Fumilayo
And in
Adams
addition,
said,
your objective must be measurable. We must be able to measure it. Did you actually get to Ojota? Are you actually in a bus coming to Ogbomoso? Are you actually in Ogbomoso to write your exam? So thank you.
yeah, thank you so much, Engineer. Fumilayo Adams asked, suppose I have a written project before. Can I use the project and update the findings and recommendations?
Come again with that question, please.
Yeah, I said Fumilayo Adams asked that, suppose I have a written project before. Can I use the project and update the findings and recommendations?
No. You have a written project before from where? Is it from this same research that was given to you by your supervisor, or you just want to take a past project and just rewrite it? So that question is not complete. You have a written project from where? Where did you get it? What makes it different from just picking any random project and presenting it as something that has been written before? So in that, if I interpret it in the context that you are just taking anything and presenting it, then you are plagiarizing. Even there is something called self-plagiarizing. You can plagiarize yourself. So it is not acceptable.
Thank you. Alaweye Oluwayemi, you have the floor. Alaweye Oluwayemi, you have the floor.
So, good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
I want to appreciate this forum for this presentation. Although I don't have much to say again because my question has been asked and it has been handled. So,
all right, thank you. Thank you so much.
It has been addressed. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Ajasa Florence, you have the floor. Ajasa Florence, you have the floor. Ajasa Florence, you have the floor.
Unmute yourself and talk.
You are allowed to unmute yourself now. Love it, you have the floor.
Thank you so much, sir. Once again, my second question is, so many school of thought has their own idea in writing a project. Some will say you don't use paragraph for your work. Some school of thought say we should put our work in a block format. So I want to know the format ODL is using. Is it in the block format or we need paragraphing?
Love it. Thank you for your question. There is no school of thought that will tell you not to use paragraph. Probably what you are trying to say is that some use block paragraph, some use indented paragraph. But in LODLC format, we use block format. So once there is a document on the structure of, please, Aisha Suleiman, please keep your microphone muted, please. So there is a format by which we follow in LODLC that will tell you what is needed, the text that is allowed, the font size, the paragraphing, the styling, and every other thing. So please conform to that structure and that format. But in LODLC, we use block format and not indented format. I hope that answers your questions.
Thank you, sir.
Olufemi Oyewopo. Olufemi Oyewopo, please, you have the floor. Olufemi Oyewopo.
Kindly unmute yourself and talk.
Hello, sir.
Hello.
Thank you very much for the opportunity. Actually, the question I wanted to ask about we have been grouped and it has been answered.
Okay, thank you so much then. I want to recognize the presence of all the e-tutors who have made it a date with us. Thank you so much. I can't be calling you your names, but your presence is really appreciated. Thank you so much for joining. Then I will call on the head of E-Tutor Nursing for a vote of thanks. Mrs. Oyebamiji. Mrs. Oyebamiji, are you there? Mrs. Oyebamiji, are you there? Okay, let me call on the head E-Tutor Accounting, Mr. Alimi Akindapo, for vote of thanks.
Hello.
Hi.
Good morning, everyone. I really appreciate the presence of the directors, the board secretary, the moderators, and every members of the LODLC Open and Distance Learning Center. I also appreciate the participation of the students. We really appreciate you. So very soon we still have an epoch-making presentation like this by God's grace. So thank you so much. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much, HOD. Yeah, thank you so much for everybody who have actually attended this. It was really an eye-opener. And even though I'm on my third degree, I have learned a lot, and I hope that we all have actually learned a whole lot from these great speakers, the presenters. Mr. Akindele Akinyinka, thank you so much for always sharing in your wealth of knowledge. Engineer Joye, thank you so much for actually breaking down the bones of research project writing. Thank you so much. And the birthday madam, that is Mrs. Fajobi, thank you so much for showing us the way on how to avoid plagiarism and how referencing could be done in an easier manner. Emmanuel, do you have a question? Because we are almost done. If yes, you can unmute yourself and ask. Emmanuel.
Unmute yourself, Emmanuel.
Yeah, I've unmuted myself. I have a question, sir.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, sorry, I had the network issues. I just joined. I don't know if the lecture has been recorded for me to listen to after now. Thank you, sir.
It has recorded and the link will be sent to your mail. So thank you very much, everyone, for coming.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Okay. Thank you very much, everyone, for coming. This is the first of many seminars or webinars that will be happening. And we hope that each time we call you, you would actually be ready to be part of it. And we can all learn from each other. Thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your day. For the presenters, thank you. Bye.
Yeah, thank you. Bye.